personally, okay, in my humble opinion, all right, and maybe this is a bit TMI, but I'm being serious about this, okay? So obviously, jobs feel good all the time, right? Job, okay. However, I think there's a very special point in a job, okay? And it's when you're like 80% hard, okay? Because when you're getting hard, right? Two things are happening. You're getting hard and you're getting bigger, right? That's how it works. And when more blood is going to your dick, at first it just gets larger. Like being 10% hard is your dick gets much bigger. Like the first 10% hard is like the first 50% big, if that makes any sense, okay? So there's this magical point that only lasts a couple seconds if you're getting head and you're getting hard, okay? Where your dick is really big, but still soft enough that you can really aggressively fuck their face. And your dick is still soft enough that it's not a problem. Ask for consent first. But there's like it's does that make sense? Where there's because if you're fully hard, then it's like, okay, well then fucking their face, like that's actually like deep throating and that's like a whole thing that's difficult, like yeah. But if it's soft enough that it just sort of like spongily squishes in their mouth, like boom, you know, like that, it feels pretty good. Yes, oh my god, I know what you mean. I love it like that. Vaush. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, those, if you know, you know. Yeah, this is boy math. Big floppy cocks are also really fun to play with. Yes, that's true. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no girl math. We can go deeper. That 80%. I don't even like. Listen, okay. I have hooked up with a lot of people who talk a big game about deep throating, and I have been deep throated fully 0 times. So I don't even talk. At this point, with regards to deep throating, my life is just nonstop disappointment. Okay, so I don't, you know, what was that 0? I don't 0 whatever. How many times have you deep throated? Also 0, but you know slightly different expectations there. It's overrated. They dry heave half the time. Vaush liar, I thought you said the dude we had a threesome with did. No, he did deep throat, but it wasn't all the way. There was still like an inch of shaft, which is still really impressive. That's the best anyone's ever done. To be clear, that's the best anyone's ever done, but it wasn't fully. That's solid with me. Yeah, it is. What the fuck is this link? Oh, here we go. Conyer providing necessary context. This is what the dick does at 80%. Like that. That is the back of their throat. It's like that, basically. You won't get good head unless you go to a gay bar or Grindr, not Tinder. Yeah, well, yeah, it is true that guys tend to be better about it, but that's not like a guarantee. Vaush sex talks make me want to Minecraft myself. Why? Why? Oh, because you're in that stage where you get like really jealous when you hear. Listen, okay, we've all been there, buddy, but don't be self-hating about it, all right? Listen, okay, it's a big wide world of people fucking, and you can join it. But the first step is not saying stuff like that. You ever gotten a head from a Mormon? No. Is this tweet accurate? Top 3 most hung streamers, and it is 3 guys with their bulges, one of which is Hassan. How could you possibly tell? None of their dicks are out here. I mean, they all look great. They all look really hot. Deep throat is overrated unless you're really into the kink of it. I think the appeal of deep throat isn't literally like, oh, now there's like 1 more inch in or whatever. The appeal of deep throat is just watching another person willingly and enthusiastically suffer to make you feel slightly better. Really, that's basically all sexual dynamics, right? Like, half of the appeal of anal is just that it's less convenient than vaginal sex. And it's like, oh, this chick does anal. It's like, okay, well, does that physically feel better? No. I mean, maybe sometimes, not really. It's par, 50-50. But then it's like, oh, well, why is anal hot? It's like, oh, because you have to try to do anal, you know? Same with deep throats. That's more of a dom thing, though. I feel like watching somebody inconvenience themselves to make you happy is good no matter what dynamic you're doing. But yeah, probably. I feel like that's a universal dynamic. Anal feels good. Yeah, I'm not saying anal feels bad. No, that makes me feel bad. It makes you feel bad if somebody enthusiastically imposes effort upon them, like does something difficult for your benefit. That makes you feel bad. That's an insecurity issue right there. I don't get that. I'm not saying it's all like dom behavior here or whatever, but if a person it's like, hey, I'm trying really hard for you right now, like that's good. It's we should all do that for people we care about. Not always in the form of anal sex, but whatever. Vaush, I deep-throated all the people I've been with on first time. What do you want about? First of all, congratulations. Very braggadocious of you. Second of all, yeah, I've got a huge dick. What do you want? Here, let's move on, okay? It's good, Vaush, but there's obviously a limit. Yeah, I'm not asking somebody to cut their leg off. It's just deep-throating, okay? And I'm not one of those, I'm not saying it's like a pressure thing. Like, they should just want to do it, That, it's like the worst type of girl to shack up with is the kind who wants you to push them to do the things they want to do anyway. You know what I mean? If I'm with somebody and they're like, I'm just gonna bruise my throat sucking your dick. I'm like, yeah, cool. I think that's cool. Frankly, if they're down for it, I don't care how much they bruise their throat. They can just not talk tomorrow for all I care. But if they're like, oh, actually, I want you to take my throat, use it. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. But the enthusiasm has to be like an expressly obvious, like there needs to be. It's a chore. Yeah, it's a chore. You ever notice that there are a lot of so-called submissives, and by submissive, what they mean is you do all the work, where it's like, oh, I love being grabbed and felt up and done this and that. And it's like, well, what you're actually saying is you like being a rag doll to be used. And I get that from like a kink perspective, but then it's like, what are you doing? Because I'm with, no, but it's not like Pillow Princess. It's like Pillow Princess disguising itself as kink, right? Because it's not like, oh, I'm just a Pillow Princess. They're like, no, use me however you want. But what they mean is like they're just gonna lay there and you can do whatever, right? But it's like now that it's been sanitized as kink rather than being lazy, it's like a different. Wasn't there a comic about this in that sex comic? Ogloff. There was an Ogloff. Deep Throat is not Pillow Princess. I'm not talking about deep throating right now, though. There is no deep throating is always high effort. Yeah, there are a fuck ton of lazy ass doms too. By the way, yeah, I know you're listening to me, but isn't that just submissive in a way? I don't. You can't be submissive. There's nothing wrong with being lazy as a partner if you kind of express that, and there's nothing wrong with being submissive. The problem is when you're lazy, but you say it's like you're submissive. That's the thing. Does that make sense? Right? Like, because there's nothing about being sexually submissive that means you have to be lazy at all. Like, plenty of room for enthusiasm there. And, it's just that, what if you're both? We'll just advertise it, I guess. I like being a Pillow Princess. Not gonna it's fine. Whatever you're into, it's fine. It's just a matter of like how it's framed. Is Vaush a Pillow Princess? The reason I'm even on this mindset right now is because I saw this post where somebody posted it was like an image meme, and it was something like when the girl stops riding her dick up and down and does that hip grinding thing that only feels good to her. And it was quote tweeted by a bunch of girls who are like, if I'm riding you, I'm queen. And that really fucking annoys me for some reason. I don't really know why. Like, don't criticize me if I'm riding you. First of all, why the fuck are you a queen if you're riding? Like, what, you're putting some fucking work in for the 5% break from you getting railed doggy like every girl in the world? Like from fucking Timbuktu to Istanbul, okay? I know how bitches like it, and it's on their knees getting railed from behind, all right? It's just biological. It's it hits the right fucking walls. Also, I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong or if I'm too ADHD or whatever, but whenever a chick rides me, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but the first 5 seconds of getting ridden by a chick is her riding me, and the remaining however long I'm there is me grabbing her hips and thrusting upwards. Like, inevitably. I don't know if it's just because, like, I'm just used to doing the work, so I'm like that. But past a point, they're literally just hovering over me while I do thrusting, but much more difficult because I have to lift my entire fucking body up to do it rather than just tilt myself forward. So basically what I'm saying is that women are lazy. I put all the work in, and they should be more thankful, which they usually are. I don't really have an issue with ingracious partners. I hope Vaush describes how he bottoms tonight. Oh, yes, he is. Thank you. It's not bottoming to be ridden, by the way. Thank you. Vaush, you get tired of doing hip thrust? Hip thrust up? Yeah, that can be tiring. Mostly on your butt. That's a glute exercise. If you're thrusting up like that, that's literally like a glute exercise, right? So you do that for long enough, and like, yeah, it's pretty tiring. Yeah, sure. It is submissive if you're not doing anything, though. Maybe that's just me being a top. It's like I'm literally on the bottom, and I'm like, fuck, I have to overcompensate, and I just grab her hips and thrust upwards. Like, you're not, you've almost duped me. You've almost tricked me, wench, into bottoming, but not so. And then I just fucking top from the bottom or something. Yeah. Weak, Vaush, weak. Fuck off. Fucking thrusting up for 30 minutes. You do that exercise. Yeah, no. If people, you listen to it. You could do anything and people in chat will judge you. You could be like, yeah, I had a foursome. I fucked for 8 hours. Fucking came 6 times. People in chat are like, you only came 6 times in one session. And the person who's saying that is like a trans chick who fit like 3 vibrators up her ass. And it's not even playing the same ball game, you know? Just people in chat will say any old shit, you know? Fucking... Yeah, I'm sorry that estrogen has fucking destroyed your refractory period, okay? I'm not even playing in the same game. What are we talking about? I'm sorry, I didn't jerk off this morning. That must be why I'm horny. That's why we're talking about this. We're moving on. Politics. Let's go. Let's get it over with.